So today we're going to be learning how to make a personal portfolio with HTML and CSS. So let's get started. So we made two files. First one is index.html and the second one is style.css. So in our index.html we're going to be making a boilerplate. So we're going to be writing the boilerplate, and inside the title we'll change the title as whatever you want. So mine is going to be coding cleverly. And inside the body tag we're going to be writing the main component of the CSS HTML code. So you could do another thing in this head tag. In this head tag you could add a link rel. The use of this is that it's gonna link the CSS style sheet with it, which is gonna be really nice, and it's gonna help us ahead. So we're gonna be writing that the style.css is the link, and we're gonna be closing this tag. So inside the body tag we're gonna be writing a header tag. So we could be writing everything, and inside we're gonna associate a class which is hero. The class name is hero. The reason is that I'm gonna tell later on. We're gonna try to make a navigational bar inside. We're gonna add a class inside this, and we're gonna say okay, we're making a navigation bar. So we're gonna close this bracket as well. So we're gonna be making a h1 heading 1, the maximum size of heading you could make. And inside the class we're gonna say okay, we want to add a logo inside. And what's the logo gonna be? The logo is gonna say my portfolio. So this in an h1 heading 1, and inside this and below that we're gonna add a ul, which is unordered list, and inside that we're gonna be associating another class, and inside that it's gonna be navigational links. So we're gonna close the bracket accordingly. So after this we're gonna add the list, the following list, what we want to be displaying in our web page. So we're gonna add an anchor tag, and after anchor tag we could write ref, and inside that we're gonna be adding the tag, the web page, whatever you want to link. So I'm gonna be linking an about section. So I'm gonna be closing this, and I'm gonna be writing about, and that's how it's done. We're gonna close the anchor tag, and I'm gonna close the list tag. So it's gonna be followed as the same thing. We're gonna add another anchor tag, ref, ref. Then we're gonna, first was about, next one was skill. Let's make a skills tag, and over here I'll just write skills. This is anchor tag's closed, then the list is closed, followed as the same process is gonna be repeated. Anchor, ref. Now we're gonna be writing portfolio. We're gonna be closing this, and inside this we're gonna be writing portfolio. I could add another feature over here which is called word wrap, which is gonna help us to see and gonna be helping us to display the text inside the web page. It's not gonna bring it outside. So I'll give a space in both of these tags. So I'll add the last list over here. The last list would be about contact function. So we're gonna add another anchor tag over here in ref function, and then we're gonna write a contact function as well. So we're gonna be closing the bracket, and inside we're gonna be writing the contact. So the anchor tag is closed, and the list is closed, and then you see that we're gonna close the ul as well as ul, and then the navigation. We open the ul class over here, ul class. We close the navigational links. So the file, we don't see that it's been closed, so we're gonna be closing the ul over here. Yeah, it is closed over here. So then the navigation and the header. So we'll save this, and let's see till now what have we created. So we're gonna reveal it in File Explorer and open this, and we see my portfolio. We see that my portfolio, about section, skill. We see the about section, skills, portfolio, and contact, which is done perfectly. So we could see once again if there's any problem in our code, we could fix them all. but it's looking all totally fine. The main thing what you gotta remember while writing your HTML code is whenever you're gonna open your bracket, you're gonna remember to close it properly. If you're not gonna close your bracket properly, it's gonna be having a lot of problems, and it's not gonna be executing stuff correctly. So after this navigation, we'll add a div section. After this div section, we'll add a class inside, and inside the class we'll write hero content. We'll close the bracket accordingly. So after this, we'll add a h2, a header 2, and inside this we'll be writing your name. Hello, you could write your name. I'll just write coding cleverly. Hello, I'm coding cleverly. So below this, in a paragraph tag, you could be writing whatever you want to be displaying. I'll display web developer and designer. You could be writing whatever you want. It's just all on you. So we're gonna be closing this div function as well as this header function, and then followed as this is our first stage of our web code what we wrote. So we'll go over here, we'll refresh the page again, and we'll see hello, I'm coding cleverly, web developer and designer. So it's being done perfectly, everything's being nice. So over here I'll be writing a section ID now. I'll add the first section ID, which is called about. This would be the about function, and inside I'll add a class, and the class would be about. I'll be closing this, and then I'll add an image source. If you want to add a logo inside, for right now I'll just keep it as JPG. You could change this later on. I just wrote a profile.jpg so you could know that there should be a picture over here. I'll write the R tag over here, and inside I'll just say this is a profile picture. So after writing this, I could add a class inside, and over here too I'll just say it's a profile pic. So things are gonna be done like this. This was an image source, so now I'm gonna add a div function inside. So div class, and inside this class I'll write okay about text. I told this div class is about text, so I'm going to be closing this bracket, and then I'll add an h2, header 2, and inside I'll write about me. This is an about me function. So after h2, you could add another paragraph inside. You could be writing whatever you want. I'll just write I'm a passionate web developer. This is your personal portfolio, so you should make sure what you're writing is totally true about you with experience, because we want to be displaying this on a web page later on for making it as your own personal website. And you could also link them with all the web pages you want, all the websites, responsive and visually. Websites. I'm a passionate web developer with experience in creating responsive and visual appealing websites. So we'll be closing our div function and section tag accordingly. So I'll add another section over here. I'll add another section ID. Section ID, then I'll write skills over here. After writing the skills, I'll be writing class skills. I'll be associating this class, so I'll be closing the bracket accordingly. So in this h2, I'll be writing that my skills. So after this, I'll be adding a div class. In this div class, I'll add skills, skill card. I'll add a skill card inside. We're going to be closing the bracket accordingly. So after this, I'll be adding another div function, div class, and inside I'll add another skill card, and inside I'll tell the skills what I have. So I'll tell, okay, I know HTML. No, a little messed up over here. In this I'm gonna be telling what I know. I told, okay, the div class skill card, and I wrote div class, then I wrote the skill card. I know HTML, so that's gonna be displayed in the web page. So I'll add another one. You can add as much languages as you know. I'll just add the ones I know. I'll add another skill card over here. I'll be closing this and I'll just say, okay, I know CSS as well. CSS. I'll be following the same process. Div class skill card, and then I'll add Java script. I'll be adding another div function, the last div function for me. You could add as much as you want. Skill card. And over here I'll just React. I wrote React over here. So this was my skill card, and you could be writing your own skill cards accordingly. So I'm gonna be closing the div function and then the section tag accordingly. You see, I close the div function and section tag accordingly. So I'm gonna be adding another. You could be seeing side by sides what you have created. So I'll refresh and see what I created. You see that I try to add the profile picture, but I didn't add any profile picture over here. I could add that later. So there's about me section. I'm a passionate web developer with experience in creating responsive and visually appealing websites. My skill: HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and React. So this is how you do everything accordingly. So I'll be adding another section over here. Section ID, then we're gonna add portfolio over here. Section ID portfolio, we're gonna be writing, okay, this is our class, and inside this class we'll be writing portfolio. 1 second. Now when I confirm a thing, yes, it looks perfectly, totally perfect. So this portfolio, and I'm gonna be closing this tag. And now after this I'll be writing an h2 header 2. I'll just say this is my work. If you want to be displaying your work inside, so I'll just say, okay, this is my work. We'll add a div function, then we'll add a class inside. It's called portfolio gallery. I'll add a portfolio gallery over here. So after this I'll write another div class, and inside the div class I'll be adding major projects. This is gonna be portfolio gallery, so this is gonna be portfolio item. I'll be closing this, and I'll be telling, okay, this is my project 1. My project 1. The same process. What happened over here? There's a little. It's red over here, so it means it has some problem. I wrote div class, and inside the portfolio item project 1. I'll just save this and let's see if it even come. Yeah, it did come. I don't know why it's red. So it's gonna be totally fine. It's okay. So I'll just repeat the process over here. I'll add another div class, and inside I'll just write portfolio item. I'll be closing this the same, and I'll just be telling all my projects whatever I created till now. So there's a project 2, now same div class, then portfolio item followed as project, then I'll add the last div class portfolio item project 4. I close project 4 over here. Then I'll be closing the div function accordingly. We see, okay, there's another div function to be closed over here. There was the last div function to be closed. We see we opened a div function over here, so it should have been closed over here, so I closed it accordingly. So I'll save this and let's see, did everything come accordingly? Everything, my work, project 1, project 2, project 3, project 4. So everything is going completely well and everything is going fine. So after this section tag, I'll add another section ID over here. This section ID would be our contact function. Contact function, inside I'll add a class, and the class would be contact as well, because we want to be adding a contact function. I'll be closing this. Inside this we're adding an h2 once again, and this is going to be a contact me function. Contact me, so it's done like this. So I'll add a form tag over here. We add form tags, you know, whenever we're gonna make a contact me function. And inside this we're gonna be writing contact form. We close the bracket, and then there's an input type. Input type, this is a text, so you should know it's a text. So after this we'll add a placeholder over here, and inside we're gonna be adding your name. Your name required, you gotta tell that this is required. So we're gonna be closing this bracket. Let's see, is it correct? So we added an input type over here, which is correct. Then we added a text. Then we added a placeholder. Inside the placeholder, your name, so the user can write your name, and then you tell that it's required. So we're gonna be saving this, and let's see, did it even come? So you see, this is a contact me, your name, everything is done accordingly. I'll just write, yeah, it's okay. You couldn't change this your name to whatever you want. You could do it accordingly. It's just a practice, and you should, everyone, whoever is watching, should try their best to practice every single thing themselves. The best way of learning something is practicing it solely by yourself. By just watching a video, you won't be learning much. So the best practice is practicing it yourself. So we're gonna add your email over here, and then you're gonna be saying, okay, this function is required, so we're gonna be closing it. Then we'll add a text area inside. Text area, and inside we're gonna be saying, okay, this is a text area, this is a placeholder. Your message is written over here, and your message is required. Your message is required, and whatever you want to be displaying over here, we could be displaying inside, but it's just your message is okay. You could be writing anything extra, but I don't want to be writing it. You could add a button tag over here. What is the button type? You gotta be telling it's a submit button. So if someone wants to submit something, he just could click over here, and then you could write send message with it. So you're gonna be closing the form and the section tag. So let's refresh this, and let's see, your name, your email, message, and send button, everything is done accordingly. Everything has been perfectly executed. So after this section, we could add a footer section over here, which is gonna be done in a really easy and simple way. So I'll be adding a footer tag over here. Then I'll say, okay, the footer class, and inside the footer class is also footer. So I'll be closing this, and inside I'll be adding a paragraph, and the paragraph is gonna be a follow me function. I'll be closing this paragraph. I'll be adding a div function over here. and then I'll be associating with the class, and I'll just add social links. Then I'll add an anchor tag over here, anchor ref. Then I'll say this is a pound symbol. The pound, I'll add the links what I want. I could add LinkedIn link over here, which is going to be shown in your web page what you created. So over here in this pound symbol you could add your links. So I won't be adding any links right now, I'll just leave them for you so you could have a basic understanding. These pound symbol, these hash symbols, and inside these you're going to be adding your links. So I'll add my GitHub as well, close the anchor tag, and over here I'll add another anchor tag which is ref pound symbol, and over here I'll be telling that I'll be adding Twitter over here. So I'm going to be closing my div function, and then after closing the div function, after closing this, I could add another thing. I could add the copyright feature, and inside we're going to be writing ampersand copy, and then we're going to be writing semicolon. This is going to be helping us to make a C copyright symbol on our web page. So we could say 2024 my portfolio, and you could write all rights reserved. So no one could be copying your code and no one can steal your idea. So this is how you write your code. I'll be saving this, and let's see what have we created till yet. I'm gonna be refreshing this. So you see, there's a profile picture over here. There's a contact me function, there's a follow me, LinkedIn, GitHub, and Twitter. Everything is done accordingly. So this is how you write the index.html code. This is how you do your HTML style. And now we would be looking into the CSS code right now. So let's get started. So now we're going to be writing our CSS code. So we're going to be opening our style.css. You got to make sure of one thing, that you linked your HTML code with the CSS code. So this is style.css, you're gonna write style.css, or whatever you're gonna save your CSS code, you're gonna be writing it accordingly. So now we're gonna be adding our code. So over here we're gonna be saying the hash symbol, and over here we're gonna be saying we want to associate things. What is this thing? We're gonna be saying we want to add margin over here. Margin, I'll add 0. Then I'll add padding. Padding would be 0 too. So then I'll be working box sizing. I'll say the box sizing is bordered box. So we'll be adding these stuff. Let's save this and let's see what big of a difference it brought. We're gonna be refreshing it, and now you see that every single thing was brought up because there was no margin, there was no padding. Everything was pulled towards the top. So that's what we wanted to do over here. You could be adding specific things over here. You could be adding whatever you want. Accordingly, your web page is going to be designed however you're going to be adding stuff. So now I'm going to be adding font size over here. Let's add font family over here, and I'll be adding the text over here. I'll say Arial, Hetero, and Sans Serif. So this is the text I'm gonna be adding over here. So you're gonna be saying you could add a line height. I'll just add 1.6%. You gotta remember to close your tags with semicolons in CSS. So I'll be adding over here. Just add like gray over here. We'll save this, refresh, and now you see this my portfolio, and there is spacing added in every single text, which is making it look really beautiful and really nice. So CSS, basically we use CSS for styling of our web page. So if you want to make it look way better or make it look even cooler, so we're going to be adding CSS inside that. So now we'll add a background over here, and we could add a background image URL inside. We're going to be writing background. dot jpg. So you see that this is another background of jpg. It doesn't mean anything right now. It's gonna be like you're gonna be writing stuff inside, so we'll say no repeat center cover, no repeat center cover. We're just gonna be writing this, so we'll be associating the height over here too. We'll associate the height over here 100 vh. So we'll just say okay, we want to add display flex direction as well. Flex direction, I'll just say column. After display flex, no, column. Flex direction was column. After that, I'll just justify content in the center, align on items in the center. Then I'll just add text align in the center too. I'll just add the color, which would be a custom color for me. I'll be adding white color, which is #FFF. So I'll add the position as well. The position would be relative. So we're gonna be adding these stuff accordingly. So we're gonna be saving this, and it's seen our web page what have we created. So you see that these all stuff came in the middle, about, skills, portfolio, and contact, and everything was done accordingly. And we could even change this color over here. You see, I'm coding cleverly, a web developer. We're gonna be changing this background color so these texts could be shown inside your web page. So we're gonna be going back. We're gonna be going back to our CSS code. So after this, we're gonna be adding another hero tag. Not this one. We'll just be adding a hero before. Hero before over here, and this is content, position, absolute, top, left, width, height, background, RGB. So this is, and then we're gonna be adding another Z index over here. Z index, we added a Z index, and we said the Z index would be 1. So we'll be saving this, and let's see, did it even bring a difference? So we see that it did bring a difference over here. Now let's go back in our color. What color did we add? I'll be going back. So it's okay. So this is how we're gonna be doing it. So below this, we're gonna be adding our hero content. So in this hero content, we're gonna be closing this stuff, and we're gonna be saying, okay, this is a position relative. This is a position relative, and then we're gonna be adding Z index inside. We'll be adding Z index inside, which is gonna be 2%. So we're gonna be closing this accordingly. So we'll be saving this. Now you see we added a hero content over here. Hero content is position relative. So we added a Z index accordingly. So after this, we're gonna be adding a navigational bar. So we'll be opening our bracket inside, and then we'll say, okay, we want to add position. Position is going to be absolute, so we'll be adding the top would be 0. I'll add the width as 100%. I'll add display as flex. So I add the position absolute, the top 0, width 100%, display as flex. So I'll justify the content in space between. Then after that, I'll align the items in the center, and then I'll add padding inside, which would be What is that? 20%. 20 pixels. I'll add 20 pixels inside. So I'll save this. We'll go back and our web page will be created. Now we're gonna save this. And now we see that everything, all the padding is done accordingly. So we're gonna be keep on writing our code and keep on just trying to improve what we wrote. So after this, we're gonna be adding a navigational bar. So this is a navigational bar dot logo, and after this we're gonna be opening in to a navigation bar. So inside this we're gonna be saying, okay, the font size would be 1.5 em. Yeah, this is done. Yeah, everything is yellow. So I thought I wrote something wrong. That's gonna be yellow, but it's okay. So the font size is 1.5 em. So after this, I'll add the color. Would be our special white color. So I'll just add the white color over here. I'll be saving this. Going below, inside this, I'll add another navigational bar. Which is called navigational links, nav links. I'll be opening the bracket over here, and inside I'll just adding display flex, and after this I'll just say list style none. I'll be saving this, going below, and after this I'm gonna be adding a navigational bar. Navigational links li, open the bracket, and inside this we're gonna be adding margin 0 to 10 pixels. Not 1 to 10, 0 to 10. 0 to 10 pixels. I'm gonna be saving this. Now let's see what big of a difference we see. So you see that the margin is done up, everything is the text is gonna be shown over here. So we're trying to improve this. Well, right now it's not completely done. We're gonna be keep on trying to enhance every single thing, every single component. So we're gonna try to improve every single thing inside. So we're gonna be adding navigational links over here as well. So yeah, text decoration after this. Yeah, this is a navigational bar. Inside we add navigational links. Navigational links. A. So inside we're gonna be adding the color, which is okay. Then we're gonna be adding a text decoration, which is none. So after this we're gonna be adding a transition, which is a transition color on 0.3 seconds. So we'll be adding another thing over here as a navigational bar, navigational links hover. So inside this we'll be adding color over here, which is FFA500. So we're gonna be closing this, and then we're gonna be going in the about function. And then inside this about, we're gonna be saying, okay, we want to display what we want to display. We want to be display in flex. So we're gonna align the items in the center. We want to be displaying everything in the center. We could do wherever you want. So we're gonna be adding padding as 60 pixel. I added padding as 60 pixels over here. So the background color, I'll just say, okay, I want to change the background color to F4. So this is gonna be done accordingly. So we're gonna be saving this. We're gonna going over here, and now we're gonna refresh. Now you see this padding, this thing changed, and there's a little more differences brought into the web page what we have created. So we're gonna be doing everything like this. So we're gonna be saying, okay, the profile pic, we want to change the size of the profile pic. I say okay, I want to change the size of the profile pic over here. I'm gonna be opening the bracket inside. I'm gonna be saying okay, I want to add width as 150 pixels, and after this I'll add height. I'll add height as 150 pixels as well. So I'll add border radius at 50%. So I'll add margin. I'll add margin right. The right margin as 20 pixels. Was 20 pixels. So this is gonna be done for this. So I'll be adding scales over here. I'll be opening this, and inside this I'll be adding padding 60 pixels. I'll change the background color to #FFF. Then I'll be adding text align in the center. So now I'm gonna be adding a scale card. I'll be adding a scale card over here. I'm gonna be opening the bracket accordingly. So inside this, we're gonna be displaying the display flex. I say okay, we add the display flex over here. So I'm gonna justify the content tool. Justify content in the center is justify content in this not in the center. I'll just do space around. So I'll be adding a flex wrap inside. I'll be adding a flex wrap which is called wrap, which is gonna be done like this. So I'll be saving this. We could go on our page, we could refresh, and we could see that the profile picture is gonna be shown over here, and everything's gonna be done accordingly. So this is gonna be done pretty well. So we're gonna be adding a skill card over here. We'll say okay, skill card. We're gonna be opening the bracket accordingly, and inside this we're gonna say okay, we want to add a background color. The background color #333 is gonna be really nice. So after this we're gonna be adding the color, which FFF. I'll add padding as 20 pixel, which is nice. Margin as 10 pixel, which is okay. Border radius as 5 pixel, which is pretty nice. Width as 200 won't be nice. I'll be adding as 120 pixel, which is pretty well. I'll be adding a transition over here to transform in 0.35 seconds. I'll be saving this transition. It seems that I wrote this wrong. Let's write this thing again. Transition. What do I have to do with transition? I have to transform it in 0.3 seconds. Yeah. If it's written yellow, if there's a yellow mark, that means there's some kind of problem inside your code, whatever you're gonna be creating. So we're gonna be adding a scale card as hover to transform the scale into 1.1, which is pretty nice. We're gonna save this. We can go on the web page what we have created now. You see there's a HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and React over here. So after this we're gonna be adding a portfolio. We're gonna be adding portfolio over here. So we're gonna be writing inside this. We're gonna be saying okay, we want to be adding padding, background, and text align accordingly inside the portfolio. So after this we're gonna be saying okay, we want to add a portfolio gallery. We added a portfolio gallery inside the HTML. So we're gonna be saying okay, For this portfolio, we displayed the grid over here. We did the grid template in columns. We repeat them. Not this. I'll just say autofit. Autofill. I don't know why. I just don't want to fill it. I'll say autofit it. And minimum min max, not 200, 300. I'll just say 200. We'll go over here and we see, okay, 1FR, which is pretty nice. So we're gonna be saying not the grid gap. I'll just add the gap over here. Gap as 20 pixel. Margin top as 20 pixels as well, which is pretty decent. We can do another thing over here. We could view this and we could add word wrap so we could see everything's fitting inside the page. I forgot to add this, so you could add this in your code. This just it helps you to understand, helps you to see the code, everything, every single thing accordingly. So we can add a portfolio item over here too. We add a portfolio item over here and we said no, I add this wrong, so I'll be opening this bracket, and inside this portfolio item I say, okay, I want to be adding a background color, which is gonna be custom for me. So after this we're gonna be adding color, so we'll add the padding not as 20 pixels, I'll add it as 40 pixels for right now. Border radius as 5 pixel. Transition is to transform in 0.3 seconds. So after this we could add a portfolio item to hover. Yeah, this is nice. I'll just say I'll change the speed a little of here in 1.05 seconds, so it's gonna transform the scale in 0.35. You could always save and we could check what have we created. We're gonna refresh and now we see these projects over here, so we could change the size over here. Why isn't it coming on project 1? So it's gonna be something wrong with our code. You gotta be really careful. We see that this project 1, we see over here that this project 1 isn't working, so we're gonna be changing this, and let's see what of a difference. So I'll just check this out and I'll let you know in a second. A bit of a problem inside this closing tag of the div function, so we're gonna be fixing these accordingly. So what I told you one thing, that whenever you're gonna open a div function, you're gonna be remembering it to save it and close every single thing accordingly. So it's good, that it's nice that we figured out the problem over here, so we're gonna be fixing it. I fixed it and I just closed the brackets accordingly. This is the div function what I had to close. So now I'll be going into the web page and we'll refresh this over here. So now let's see that this is what's going to be done. We're going to reset this. I zoomed it in before, it was like this much, so we'll reset this. We see that this is hello, I'm coding cleverly. Right now it's not completed till yet. Inside this we're going to be adding profile pictures, about me, my skills, the HTML, CSS, my work, the projects. All the projects are going to be displayed over here. Everything is going to be done accordingly. So let's go back in our CSS code. So after this, when we add the profile item over here and we set it to hover, so we're going to be adding the contact function as followed, and over here we're going to be adding padding as 60 pixel. So I'll add background color. We'll add the background color as hash. FFF over here we'll add, so everything we're gonna text align it in the center. So things are, the contact function is gonna be done like this. So we'll just save this, go below, and we'll add a contact form over here. The contact form, we're gonna be opening the bracket, and over here we're gonna be telling, okay, the maximum width what we use is 500 pixels. Maximum width margin is auto. That's what the contact form we add over here. So after this we're gonna be saying, okay, we want to be adding a contact form, input contact form text area. Yeah, we'll just add this, and inside we'll say the width is 100 pixel, the padding is 10 pixel, margin as 10 to 0 pixel, border 1 over here, solid. We'll just change this color. I'll change it to white because I'm creating my web page accordingly. So I'll add the border radius as 5 pixels as well. So we'll just always try to add a different an extra thing inside the previous code, so it could be more enhanced and everything's gonna be done perfectly. So we're gonna be adding a button over here, contact form button. We're gonna be opening this bracket over here, and inside this we could say the width as 100 pixel, padding 10 pixel, background color, then the color, border radius. So we could do it like this. So we just add the width over here as 100 pixel, padding is 10 pixel, background color which is 333, which is perfect, color, then border I said none, so border radius is 5 pixel, and the cursor is pointer. So this is going to be the contact form. So this was done perfectly. So we're going to be adding a contact form over here. I added a contact form, button is hover, so I just say, okay, we want to add button hover over here. So we'll say, okay, we want to add the background color, and what do we want to change the background color as? 555, which is grayish color. So after this we'll add the last components, the final touches. The final touches of the code. We're going to be adding footer section over here. So I'll be opening the footer over here, and we're going to be adding background, padding, text line, and everything's going to be happening like this. We could bring this below. I could remove it over here. Now we see the background color is #33, color is FFF, padding is 200 pixels, and the text line is in the center. So we could save this, and now the last component, the social links, what we're gonna add. So we're gonna be, I'll see what have we created till now. So we'll go all the way up, we'll refresh the web page, and we see that the difference was mainly brought below in the down section. So we're gonna be changing over here. Then after this contact, we added footer section, which was done perfectly. So now I'm going to be adding the footer social links. The social links, what we're going to be adding below, I'm going to be containing them over here. So I'm going to be adding an anchor tag, and we're going to be opening this code. Inside I'm going to be adding, okay, the color, and I'll be saving this as FFA500. You always gotta remember that whenever you try to do something, you always gotta try to practice. So by watching this, you're not gonna be understanding much. By practicing by yourself, mixing and matching, adding new stuff, don't try to copy and cram the same thing while I'm gonna try to explain. You gotta try to do every single thing yourself. So I'm gonna add transition color. I say, okay, transition color in 0.3 seconds. So the last thing is the footer. Over here I'll add social links. A hover, and the color is going to be done like this accordingly. So we see that there is one problem inside over here. There's 0 point transition color. We didn't close this. We have to close this properly, and then we gotta save this. So all of our code is done over here. Now let's display it on our web page. While reviewing my code, I saw that there was one issue inside. I didn't close the semicolon of this pointer tag, so you could review your code once again throughout. You could just check whatever you're writing, whatever you're doing. So we'll just save this over here. We'll go on our web page, what we have created. Now let's refresh the page over here, and now let's see, this is the real color what was gonna bring. And now you see that this is my portfolio about section over here. Hello, I'm coding cleverly, a web developer and a designer. So your profile picture is gonna come over here. About me, I'm a passionate web developer. Your skills are gonna be written accordingly. Your projects, it's gonna be done like this. And then there's a contact me function, so you see you could add your LinkedIn, GitHub and Twitter, and then their portfolio is completely done over here. We could add a profile picture over here, so we can go on our web page. I could search coding cleverly, go on images, get this image, copy image address, go back in our code, go in HTML, and let's look for the logo where I said you could add code over here. So we're gonna paste this over here. We're gonna be saving this, and let's see in our web page, did the logo come over here? So you see our logo has come and it's been displayed perfectly. So if you want to change this background over here, you want to change this background color, you could do that too. Go on our web page. You could copy any single thing. We'll just copy this, copy image address. Go over here, go on our CSS code. Look over here, we see that there's a background or JPG over here. We're gonna be pasting our code over here. We'll be saving this, and now let's go on our web page, and then let's see, did it come? Now let's see, this is our real background. You could be adding different pictures over there. This is a really small picture, so we'll try to just somehow come inside, so you could change the background into something better. So now you see, we could even read my portfolio is written over here. This is about section, about skills, portfolio and contact. Hello, I'm coding cleverly, web developer and designer. About me section, I'm a passionate web developer with experience in creating responsive and visual appealing website. This is our logo over here. The skills are written over here: HTML, CSS, JavaScript, React, my work. These are the projects. You could add your projects over here. There's a contact me function. You could write your name, your email, your message, submit the message over here. Then if someone wants to follow you, you could associate your LinkedIn projects, LinkedIn files over here, LinkedIn, GitHub, Twitter. You see the pound symbols where I added over there below. No, it was in our HTML code. These pounds over here, you could change them with your LinkedIn, GitHub and Twitter URLs and links, and your links are going to be done. So whenever someone's going to try to create, it's not going to bring them over here, it's going to bring them to LinkedIn, GitHub and Twitter. So you see there's a copyright 2024 of my portfolio, all rights are reserved. So everything was done like this. I hope you understood a lot. Please try practicing it by yourself. If there's any problems, any queries, any questions, please feel free to comment down below. And thank you for watching. Please subscribe so we can have motivation for uploading more content and more projects in the future. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned for the next project and next video. So our next session would be of JavaScript. So I'll be teaching JavaScript. So stay tuned for those videos. Thank you for watching.